Lonerbox made a video about me and the crew. We're going to react to some of that. Do not worry, the podcast. So Lonerbox, we talked about Lonerbox a few weeks ago when he was invited on the H3 podcast. I got into a little Twitter spat with him that I can't remember if we covered it on the podcast because it was a little bit boring. But he turns out he made a whole video about us. It's 41 minutes long. He said it's called "These People Don't Care." Leftists upset at Loner for failing, I guess, purity test. It got like 30,000 views. This was posted like a couple of weeks ago at this point. And I hadn't really noticed, and I put out a tweet saying, "Lol, how did I just notice that Bonerbox used me as clickbait 4 days ago? I'm sorry, I'm not famous enough to get you more views, buddy." Anyways, he called us dipshits, or at least he called me a dipshit on his YouTube channel. Let's see.
He called you.
Let's see what he had to say about us. Friend of the show and friend of Ethan Klein's, more importantly, Lonerbox. Let's see what he had to say about our humble little podcast.
Oh, he made a fucking podcast episode about me, this fucking dipshit. Soy. What's he doing here? Oh, he's got the whole gang over. What the fuck?
The gang
Okay,
is
so
over.
these guys are... This is some podcast by a guy that's been fighting with me on Twitter. And apparently he wants to challenge some of my claims on Gaza. We'll see.
Say my name, boy.
Just pissed me off. This guy's really pissing me off.
That's really annoying. And this
Fuck
clip right
yeah.
here, Ethan kind of just shows you how scared he is of Palestinians mixing with Israelis because he thinks that Palestinians are just going to run around murdering Israelis. Oh.
I hate this allegation. It's like, I'm sorry, bro. Do you think Jews... it's so stupid. I can understand when people say, oh, like South Africans who are white are worried about
It just goes
equality,
on.
like what, anti-white racism, because that's like a really deeply embedded fear in society that there's like that not only is South Africa riddled with anti-white racism, but also the entire region around them. And as soon as they get equal rights, they're just all going to die. That's obviously stupid. But we're not talking about like we're talking about Jews, okay? And again, most of these Jews are not even white. So we're talking about Jews who are mostly refugees. Again, these are Israel. People forget this. Israel's a nation of refugees.
But what does that, like, what? He's not commenting on what I said. I said that Israelis think that if you let Palestinians go, they're just going to
and
stab them
murder
and go
everyone.
crazy. What does it have to do with whether they're white, Israelis, like Arab Jews? What does it matter? The Palestinians aren't interested in just murdering random Israeli citizens.
Not just the Holocaust survivors or the people who fled the pogroms of Russia. It's the people who fled the Middle East and North Africa. That's the majority of Israeli Jews. All these countries, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, Libya, Morocco, Yemen, these all had sizable Jewish populations. They don't anymore.
Why don't we have sizable Jewish populations anymore? Have you ever asked yourself that question, bro? Is it because we're just racists and anti-Semites? Or is it because of a little project called Israel, bro, and Zionism?
Because they were pushed out by pogroms, by anti-Semitism, by the Arab and Muslim world. So this guy is like, it's so naive to just suggest that the Palestinians are going to be the first group in the last 100 years in the Middle East and North Africa that is going to treat their Jewish minority well. Even though when you consider it's Palestinians, like they're the group that probably has more of an excuse to be anti-Semitic than any other group. And you think,
Bro, there's going to be growing pains. Of course, when Palestinians and Israelis are going to merge and live together, yeah, it's not going to be, there's going to be violence, there's going to be attacks from both sides. It's going to be a hard transition in the beginning, but eventually, yeah, I think they're going to, people just want to live, bro. Palestinians just want to raise their kids, send them to school, have a job, make money. They don't want to live in the gutter, basically, under bombardment and under drone strikes and everything. So I don't really know where he gets this stuff from, bro, but he's kind of so far gone. I don't even feel like debating this anymore. It's like so tiring. It's just fun having him talk shit about us and giving us some publicity. They're all terrified of Palestinians. They think that as soon as a Palestinian is going to come face to face with an Israeli, they're going to fucking attack him and bite his face off, which they have every right to if they wanted to because of what the shit you fucking done to them, but they're not going to do that.
okay, so we just endorsed the murder of civilians.
Sure.
About 6 million of them,
Oh,
actually.
shut up.
Like
So
half the world's
dumb, bro.
Jews. Bit over 6 million. Okay, we just endorsed the murder of 6 million Jews on youtube.com. Hey, let's go.
Obviously, anyone who heard me say this knows I don't mean that Palestinians should go killing Israelis. I'm like, if they wanted to, they might feel justified after the genocide that they're currently facing. And then right after, I followed up by saying they're not going to want to do that, and neither should they, Lonerbox. I'm not out here calling for the murder of Israelis, you dumb fuck. What a bad faith fucking argument, but that's all he does. All he does is bad faith arguments and straw man arguments and shit like that because he's got nothing to stand on.
The Zionist agenda really got to him. Like, he got it down really well.
Yeah, bro, go take
He's
shower.
like spewing
He-
propaganda.
he's a half Lebanese guy who has been to Israel. He spent time in Israel. He spent time with like one of their propaganda people. Him and Destiny went on a fucking tour. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, this guy is an insult to Lebanese people. Sorry, and I don't even hate you, Lonerbox. Honestly, like, I don't even think you're like that much of a bad guy. You're just very misinformed, and you've hung out with like the wrong people. And you should spend more time in
Yeah,
Lebanon,
same.
bro. Spend more time with some Arabs. Get closer to your roots, my man, because you're so far gone, my man.
This guy's got like a reasonable following on his podcast.
Ooh.
Not bad, you know, not bad. Seen worse.
Thank you.
This guy has just been in my replies, basically justifying Hezbollah attacking Arab communities and Druze and other Jewish communities, civilian, in the north of Israel.
And that's how he spins it. When I talk about Hezbollah attacking North Israel, he only talks about the Arabs that live there and like, oh, Hezbollah is attacking Arabs, and like, bro, this fucking, oh my god.
For a very interesting reason. I asked him to tell me anything I said that was wrong about Hezbollah and Lebanon. He didn't. I asked him how Hezbollah's actions were supposed to help Gaza, because it seems like it was a bad idea now that we've got a bit of hindsight. And this rationale, which is not uncommon, by the way, there's no military victory against Israel, just like there can be no military victory against Hamas. The idea is to destabilize and make the Zionist regime and apartheid state untenable, destabilize the economy, make the entire project unsustainable. If you've done your research, sorry, I should say that more in the appropriate tone. If you've done your research, you would know that Israel's economy is in the toilet. Most dual citizens have left, small businesses closing at record numbers, state becoming more of a pariah. But yeah, you're right, Hezb accomplished nothing. And the Hezb issue in Lebanon is very complicated, not black and white. People have mixed feelings towards them. Some love him, some hate him. We're not a monolith. Hearing you talk about it is clear you know nothing about Lebanon. Again, I've never said Hezbollah's history is not complicated, okay? I've spoken many, many times about the Shiite minority and why it made perfect sense for them to fall in line with a group like Hezbollah. It makes perfect sense. It's a lie that most dual citizens have left? Sure. That's not the point, though. It's the idea that they are still stuck on this absolute delusion. And unfortunately, even the PLO did this in the 60s, when they more or less modeled themselves on the Algerian movement against the French. The idea was to use violence and terror and whatever else.
People watch this and are entertained by this fucking guy? Holy fucking shit, Lonerbox. My man,
Just remove him, bro. Just remove him.
you're so monotone. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, my man. One more clip. I think he calls me a dipshit one more time. I just want to
He
hear
calls you many
I just want to
words
hear
here.
that, bro. That's all I want to hear.
That's the trend that's carried on here, right? This guy is basically trying to sell a victory that looks kind of just like a suicide. But you're right, Hezb has accomplished nothing. Okay. Bit of copium. Bit of a dipshit.
So just to be clear, we never said that Hezbollah won the war. Like, we very clearly said that the damage that their leadership incurred was huge. The damage that Lebanon incurred as a whole, South Lebanon, Dahiyeh, like Lebanon paid a massive price for this war. It was not a good idea for us to get into this war. Again, a lot of Lebanese people want nothing to do with this war. No one wanted to get involved to begin with. And we never said that it was a victory, but it's also not a victory for Israelis the way Western media is trying to paint it. Again, Israel had to fucking get out of Lebanon with their tail tucked between their legs, just like they did in 2006. They tried to get into South Lebanon. They lost so many fucking soldiers. They also ate a lot of fucking damage. Now, who caused a lot more damage? Israelis. But why did they cause a lot more damage? Because Israelis also fucking bomb everywhere indiscriminately. Hospitals, schools, homes, bridges, whatever the fuck, bro. Hezbollah was mainly aiming at military installations, even using their shitty fucking rockets that they can't aim half the time. Israelis only aim for fucking destroying villages, but they burnt almost every single village in South Lebanon. It's burnt to a crisp. So, yeah, we did lose the war. No one said we fucking won, but again, he just makes bad faith arguments and just fucking...
Bit of copium. Bit of a dipshit. Bit of a cunt. Oh, well.
Aww.
But it's okay, you know, maybe...
Despite all this, Bonerbox, I don't hate you, my man. You just really need to spend more time with some Arabs. Stop being such a self-hating Arab. And Ethan called him Lebanese. He's not Lebanese, bro. He's like half Lebanese, half Scottish or whatever. And we do not claim him as one of our own. So, Bonerbox, we bid you adieu. Anyone want to say anything to Bonerbox?
Oh, just fuck you, bro.
It's so fucking boring, and I'm not gonna do another hour-long episode about you, bro. You're extremely boring. I want this beef is over. I just don't want to be
Beef
involved with you
over.
anymore. It's so fucking boring.
Fuck that
It's-
guy, bro.
It's no fun. Do Not Worry, the podcast